Hey guys, first Marksman here, and so I'll be talking about a Marksman Bolt Carbine build for the Vanguard class in Space Marine 2 patch 12.0. Now, the Marksman Carbine this patch did get a buff to its base damage on the Ammo Reserve option, and now actually has about as much headshot damage on this variant as the ×2 headshot multiplier version, which does make it the best version of all the variants in my opinion currently. And for the perk tree here, I do take the perk Headhunter first. Headshots deal 10% more damage. Moving here into the perk Rapid Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies rapid succession restores health by 10%. This is just a very strong perk to have on like pretty much any build, even though the Vanguard does make this a little bit redundant because we have healing like Adrenaline Rush and the perk here Unmatched Zeal. I'm only taking one of those options today, so sometimes having like a burst HP heal can still help. Next perk here is Home Precision. Equipped weapons maximum spread decreases by 50% when firing without aiming. This just makes your gun a laser beam on the hip fire. Now this is definitely a more useful perk on the automatic variant because this one's accuracy is just way worse, but still sometimes you will barrel stuff and just hip fire, especially on Vanguard, so it's pretty good there as well. Next perk here is Divine Might for a damage increase of 10%, into the perk Headhunter and Headhunter again for a 20% headshot damage increase, down here into the perk Extended Magazine, Divine Might, increased capacity, and of course, Magazine Restoration. When your health drops below 30%, your ammo reserve is restored by full magazine, cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity, the cooldown is 30 seconds. Now, this perk on top of increased capacity pretty much solve any ammo economy problems you would ever have on this gun, even on the Vanguard class, so a really good combo here. And next perk here is Adamantine Grip, and the final perk is Divine Might for a 10% damage increase, and that's pretty much everything there is for the setup on this weapon. But I do want to say, if you want to like suffer a little bit more on the ammo economy, you could skip the bottom 4 perks here and go up here for perks like Cleaving Fire into Adamant Hunter and Recoupment. Recoupment does give you armor back every 15 seconds on a Majora's Kill or higher, and that is a really good option for headshot damage against like Rubric Marines and stuff like that to get armor back. So if you want to take this, it is a bit safer, but overall, I think this one's a bit better for this build. Now, for the secondary here, I do take the Inferno Pistol. The Inferno Pistol also got buffed up this patch, now has a 22% damage increase to its gun strike damage. That feels way better now. I think that the big issue with the Inferno Pistol for a long time was that god-awful confetti gun strike damage. That is no longer the case. It is a lot better now, and I actually probably prefer it over things like the Neo Volkite. Now, for the perk tree here, I do take Perpetual Range first, moving here into the perk Brace Reload. Then I grab the perk Perpetual Range again, up here into the perk Great Might, Increased Capacity, and Adamant Restoration, because we actually get ammo regen built into this gun, which is like one of the best reasons to use the Inferno Pistol in the first place. And the final 2 perks here are Extra Shot and Trick Shot. Killing 5 enemies with 1 shot restores an armor segment. The cooldown is 30 seconds. Now, getting armor back on a 30-second cooldown may not seem like much, but armor restore really built into your weapon is top tier anywhere, because any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will reduce all incoming melee damage to 0 even from bosses, so a perk like this can save your life. And that's pretty much all there is for the secondary here. Now, for my melee weapon, I do take a Block Power Axe. Now, I did take this build to Chaos, and I think the Block Power Axe is overall better than the other options against the Hellbrutes and stuff like that, which is why I took it here. I also think it's a very strong option in general for the Vanguard, because block charges do fit his overall playstyle when you're not building the things like Tactical Prowess or Zone of Impact. Now, for the perk tree on this, I do just build all damage, and starting off here with the perk Perpetual Strength, moving here into the perk Coup de Grace. The last strike of a light combo deals 25% more damage. Then I pick up Perpetual Strength and Perpetual Strength again for a 10% melee damage increase, and then we go down here into the perk Counterattack and Riposte. Overhead strike damage after performing a power backstep is doubled. Now, power backstep is the attack you do immediately after a parry when you hold down your attack button on the power axe. If you hold down your attack button again after that, you will do a free overhead strike, and that's what this is actually buffing up, so it's really good to like one combo enemies, and one of the best perks in the entire tree for damage. Next perk here is Hard Target, moving here into the perk Tactical Retreat for 25% more damage on your power backstep. Power backstep is one of the strongest attacks on this weapon anyways, so pretty much always pick this up. Then I go up here into the perk Power Wave. Power backstep wave, it damages more enemies. This just changes the angle of your power backstep to like hit more enemies, very similar to like a Xenophase Blade Ancient Technology perk on the Power Rake, and they're both very strong, though this one is like a little bit harder to like aim at some enemies because it is attached to a parry. Next perk here is Cleaver. Damage increases by 10% against Majora's level and higher enemies, and this is just a catch-all damage increase against enemies you want to kill the most, and that's pretty much all there is for the Power Axe. Now for the Vanguard perk tree, I do pick up the perk Upper Hand first. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you do not lose control of heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. No knockback in Space Marine 2 will save your life. The way that no knockback works in this game is that any attack that would knock you over will only stagger you. Any attack that would stagger you while this effect is active will do nothing. So really useful to prevent frame traps. And really, in this tree, the perk here, Melee Mastery, kind of sucks because it's bugged to like not be multiplicative, and the perk up here, Moving Target, is just kind of trash. So definitely pick this one up. Next perk here is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. This is one of the best damage reduction perks in the entire game. A 25% health damage reduction on armor break will save your life all the time. You also have a ton of armor restore on this class anyways, things like Launch Restoration and Restoration, so a really good synergy there. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid session restores equipment charged by 1. The cooldown is 90 seconds. A 90-second Melt-A-Bomb in Space Marine 2 will just clear runs for you all on its own. It will absolutely save your life. Even the run I'll actually show here, this perk bails me out all the time because 90-second Melt-A-Bombs are just that good, and really any equipment recharges. Next perk here is Inner Fire. All team members can restore ability charge by 15% by performing finishers on Majora's level or higher enemies. This perk is incredible for this build. You really don't need Unmatched Zeal on the Vanguard as much as you might think initially, especially if you have Adrenaline Rush already. And like, it can be helpful for your teammates, but sometimes CDR will actually do more for you, especially on this build. Next perk here is Restless Fortitude. After a diving kick, you take 40% less range damage for 10 seconds. Having a 40% range damage reduction on top of a 25% health damage reduction with Conviction will make it so Chaos enemies will not melt you with range fire or even things like Enraged Devourers, so a really good combo here. Next perk here is Tip of the Spear. Enemies hit by diving kick take 15% more range damage for 10 seconds. This is probably the weakest perk in this column, but it's still pretty good for the Marksman Carbine to like go into an enemy and barrel stuff headshots. It will let you kill some Rubric Marines and stuff like that significantly more quickly, especially for weapons like the Heroic Instigator as well. Next perk here is Thrill of the Fight. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you take 20% less health damage for 5 seconds. This will trigger all the time, over and over and over again, and a 20% health damage reduction on top of a 40% range damage reduction on top of a 25% health damage reduction, again with Conviction. Well, that makes you incredibly tanky on this class, so a really good synergy here. I think Thrill of the Fight is a bit underrated in this game. It actually comes into play all the time. Final perk here is Adrenaline Rush for 5% more HP restore on Majora's level or higher kills, and that is pretty much all there is for the main perk tree. Now for the Vanguard Prestige perks, I do take Battlefield Awareness first. If a target is within 8 meters, you'll deal 10% more rage damage. This is just a free damage buff for something you do all the time on the Vanguard class, which is grapple onto an enemy and shoot them in the face, so pretty much always pick this up. Next perk here is Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. Health increases in Space Marine 2 are incredibly valuable because below 25% HP, you do get a ramping damage reduction up to like 1% HP, which means that a base HP increase is actually worth a lot more than it may sound initially, so pretty much always pick these up as well. And the final two perks are Launch Restoration and Restoration for Armor Restore, because Armor Restore is very potent in Space Marine 2 for the reasons I previously mentioned. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. The Vanguard Marksman Carbine feels way better now. The ammo reserve option is actually buffed. Before, he would run out all the time, but now you actually have a pretty decent ammo economy, and hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. This foul creature pests us. So yeah, that's gonna be the next ranking video. The top 5 most annoying enemies in this game. Number 1, spoiler alert, Biovores. I think my most controversial take in that would be I don't think Chaos Spawn are that annoying. I think Cultist Snipers are more obnoxious than Chaos Spawn are.
Another heretic dies glimpsing the truth. Their dark thoughts are dark magic will not save that source. Perhaps they seek to choke our rivers with their dead.
At 3 sorcerers? What would I possibly do against 3 of them? I know.
Army melter charge.
problem solver 9000 strikes again.
Executing countermeasures. Readying next volley.
You don't mind Biovore if you can jump to them fast? My issue with Biovores is, I mean, Spore Mines are already the most annoying enemy in the game. I don't think Biovores are like that hard to kill or obnoxious. What's your favorite class? Probably Assault right now. Back in Assault. Depends on the day, though.
Inserting fresh magazine. Melter installation done. The Codex demands it. Rearming. Activating war gear. See Emperor's light dark. Arch enemy's minions have been vortex. Readying next volley. Battle power.
The damage reduction on Biovore squads that makes them the worst enemy? Yeah, them just like ignoring equipment damage, round pound damage pretty much. Like fracking penetrator rounds is pretty good. Next community event equals caves for all classes. We dream. We wish. Do you only stream/play in PvE? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. For most of those games, community is at, to be fair. Not bored of it yet. I don't really. So I've talked about this many times. I don't really feel burnout for games. People have been telling me I'm going to be burnt out 2,000 hours ago. And here we are. A year and a half later. Now, I don't want to say it's autism, but
Another heretic dies glimpsing the truth. Their dark gods
I'm going to push you back in. And then what about it? Oh, after the explosion. Moral loss. Maybe it's for the melt up prestige perk or something, just consecutive execution. It's just the 7 kills in rapid succession on 90-second cooldown. Oh, it's definitely the guy I wanted, but do. Pretty better than me, my friend. I love it. At autistically playing one video game. That's probably a Hellbrute. As long as it doesn't do the unblockable on me. That's a tragic loss of HP. Kill him. Yeah. I was trying to get the double block charge because the Hellbrute is actually pretty susceptible to this weapon. He gets staggered. A relic again. The Emperor blesses me this day. You're not gonna need that though. Probably. Probably. This is a pretty double sorcerers into this is always a little obnoxious here.
Reduced to a bucket of bones.
You're too artistic, not autistic. Nicest thing anyone said to me all day. I prefer the term neurodivergent. Is this the execution build? No. This is just a Marksman Carbine and Adrenaline Rush tip of the spear build. Tip of the spear is not that strong, but it's pretty fun with this one.
Activating war gear.
Do you think Saber will add an FOV slider to console? They said no. They have no plans for that, so I doubt it. And that's probably a performance thing. Consoles just aren't that strong.
Inserting fresh magazine.
And this game already has performance issues. You gotta think, like, past Wave 30 Siege mode, the game already lags like crazy. And the game's that's on PC. The game's available on console, which means it's probably been worse there.
Foul creature pesters us no more. To put faith in madness is to seek death.
Kind of your little brains.
Sounds like we have plenty more heretics to purge.
What FOV setting do you prefer? I play on 1.25. You can go way higher than that, but I think the game starts to look ugly at that point. At least for my personal eyeballs, you know. Your eyeball exposure may vary.
Look, those other astropods pull their energy to create the barrier.
Where are we going?
You're the citrus, and the barrier falls.
This one.
Our victory is already complete.
Yeah, your eyeball preference may vary, is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to go all the way to the moon, if you want to see your character's armpits in first person in the video game, I'm not going to take that away from you.
Kill more citrus. Citrus kill confirmed.
Playing his folly. Our adversaries are keen to lose again. See the Emperor's light.
Console also has no FOV, the biggest determiner of skill according to some. I mean, the game, it definitely helps. But Space Marine 2 also had no FOV slider on console, or excuse me, PC for months at post-launch. Does consoles have FOV and Dark Tide? I actually have no idea.
Thousand Suns Terminator Squad.
Honestly, sometimes I forget Dark Tide's even on console.
Melter bomb prepped and ready. Second wave headed toward us.
Well, that may have been a very tragic... Man, how I would love to have a Melta Bomb over here right now. Maybe I can move all in. Come. Do that big old clump thing you did there? Yeah. Enough.
Hostile backup on the way. They should have never turned on that right.
It does. Dark Tide does have an FOV slider. I know people shit talk Dark Tide on console all the time, which, like, yeah, it is a game you should probably play on PC for precision, but I do also know for a fact that there's someone in Mr. E's Discord that plays Havoc 40 regularly on a controller, which is, like, actually fucking insane to me in that game.
Changing magazine.
Good like never runs out of ammo. Is the power stance wave unaffected by the block buff finally? What do you mean? Or is it affected by it, you mean? It's always been affected by block in recent patches. This did last time I checked. Oh, it's not a bomb. It's a little Vanguard shield.
Thus the lead astropath is without support. One cycle remains. Let us bring that number to zero.
How much are you paying them enemies? Because there's ain't no way it's walking to your multi-bomb. All enemies on your screen are paid actors. That's all part of Zeus's grand plan, actually.
Changing magazine.
Did you play all the classes or master one at a time? I don't think Space Marine 2 is really a game where you main a class that much. A lot of the skills just transfer over to all of them. Because the parry windows are like all the same across weapon types. There are a couple niche mechanics on things like assault and stuff like that for Wings of Flame. It's definitely changed a bit, but no, for the most part, once you know one class in this game pretty well, you can swap very easily to others.
Die by our hands.
For general gameplay, anyways.
To even reuse the scraps. We cannot backtrack.
At least we didn't get the generator portion that time.
The path to the enemy has shifted. Now we are about the damn thing. Purge that atrocity.
Hammer the monstrosity. Inserting fresh magazine. Foul pestilence delights me.
Don't hit that much boss, I don't like.
Those beings will guide through our armor. Avoid them.
Rearming.
Oh, out of range that one.
My spirit.
Look at the demon retreat. We're caught in its wake. The foul beast has tracked us to some infernal realm. Nothing shall stay my wrath when I find it.
Like Boogie Woogie, we swap
Serve our
places.
spirits, brothers. We cannot stay here.
Why are you shooting the orb? Because it still does damage and lazy, and it's big and bright, and I am autistic.
Amputate those damn tentacles first.
It is a mercy to end its
This boss does actually have a headshot multiplier now, so it's probably the best thing to shoot, but well, does damage.
Inserting fresh magazine.
Leave the beast's grotesque appendages.
How many shots this will take? A lot. So for this, these little orbs, all you have to do is just run straight.
Waiting war gear.
They dodge these. I mean, it looks like it's doing a lot more damage, but actually, I guess it is. Not really. About his face. All things are subpar here.
Trouble thinking. Seeing straight.
Come on, did the...
Reloading.
Oh. Oh. That's no damage. I know there's a way to fit in. Like, you can't fit in a power backstep here occasionally, but like this whole portion right here, not my favorite.
Rearming. Inserting fresh magazine.
He's so anti-melee, it is ridiculous. It is certainly ridiculous. I just let myself get whacked in the face by that too. It doesn't have a lot of gaps, especially for block weapons. Like, with balance, you can fit in some gun strikes there, but with block, a little less. I mean, you don't have to get hit by every single,
Not upon pride.
every lunge he does, though.
No longer suffer it.
That's a purely me thing.
Readying next volley. Hellspawn. Wipe it out. Rearming.
So this boss fight is just not fun. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's just we don't have a ton of boss damage on this build, but most Vanguard builds don't.
Inserting fresh magazine.
A little tedious because even if you get smacked by like this overhead he does, you usually have enough time to get back your so awkward the block weapon. Like, see, if you get hit by that, you usually have enough time to get your CSP back like that.
Foul testament likes me. Reloading.
It is nearly dead. End its pitiful existence.
The boss does take forever. It is kind of weird, like you start to clip into the actual boss during his 6 attack chain on a block axe because the way your power back step works, at least on the block version, is that you just like slowly move your model across the floor. And it breaks targeting on the boss a lot of the time.